Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you'd be fine. Think new syllabus mathematics. Once again, I'm with chapter number 11. In this exercise today, we are going to talk about 11b, about quadrilaterals. We have already discussed about some of the properties of rectangles, triangles, vertically opposite angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles. Now we are going to talk something more about these type of angles and quadrilaterals in this video. So watch the video till the end. Do not skip the video. We are also going to deal with the rhombus and parallelograms in this video, so give it a watch. Let's start with question number 3, in which we are provided with a rectangle along with two lines that are making this triangle, making this rectangle splitting into three different triangles. The three triangles that are over here are PTS, that is PST, one of the triangle, in which we are provided with one of the angle which is 28 degrees. So don't get confused. This angle 28 belongs over here. It is not 28 over here. Okay, don't get confused. Then we have another triangle like this, which is STR. STR. In this triangle, again, we are only provided with one of the angles. Okay, and then we have a third triangle like this, in which we are provided with none of the angles. Okay, but even before proceeding towards the actual question, let us revise some of the properties of rectangles that we know. All the points, all the corners, all the vertices of a rectangle, all the angles of a rectangle are 90 degree each. It means we can say that angle SPQ, PQR, QRS, the two angles, since this point, this vertex R has been splitted by a diagonal line over here, so this angle has been splitted into two angles. So the sum of these two angles would be 90 degrees. 43, and let's say this is angle X, or let us write it as TRS. So we can say angle TRS and 43 degrees have a sum of 90 degrees, because at point R, it is of 90 degrees. Similarly, at point S, angle PSR is also 90 degrees. So these two angles are complementary. That is the sum of angle 28 and TSR. This is TSR. Would have a sum of 90 degree as well. Okay, so what two angles do we have to find in this question? We have to find out angle PTS. This is PTS. Okay, the first angle that we have to find. And then we have to find out RTS. This is the second angle that we have to find. Okay, where shall we start? First of all, let us label the 90 degree angles. So if we look at this angle, this is 90 degrees. Again, this is also 90 degrees. It means in the first triangle, PTS, we are provided with two angles, not just one. Let us draw it again. This is a right angle that has been formed. The first triangle, which is PTS. This angle has been marked as 28 degrees. This is 28 degrees. This angle we have found as 90 degrees. So if we have to find out angle PTS, PTS would be 90 plus 28 plus PTS is equals to 180 degrees, since the sum of the three angles in a triangle would always be 180 degrees. So we can say that using the property of sum of angles, angle sum property of triangles, we can say angle 28 plus 90 plus PTS, which we have to find, is equals to 180 degrees. So what we will do, first we will add 90 with 28, we will get 118. And in the next step, we'll simply subtract it from 180 degrees to find out the value of angle PTS, which would be 62 degrees. It means this angle is 62 degrees. That's it. You see how easily we have found this angle, which is of 62 degrees. Now we have to find out the third angle, the second angle, that is STR. But to find this triangle, if we look at the shape, we'll find out that only one angle is given in the triangle, in the second triangle, which is, let us draw it again. If we talk about this triangle, in this triangle, we are only provided with angle RST, this angle. Again, I'm repeating, I'm not provided with this angle. This is not 28 degrees, okay? There has been arrow indicating that 28 degree is PST, not TSR. This is angle TSR. And this has not been provided. So how can we find this angle RTS? Look, for that, first we have to find out angle TSR. And if you look at angle TSR, you can see that angle TSR plus 28 degrees is equals to 90 degrees because it is complementary angle of 28, isn't it? This is 62 degrees. You see, we have found TSR first. This would be 62 degrees. And now since we have found two of the angles in this triangle, we can find STR now. STR or RTS means the same. You can pronounce it from either side, starting from R, going towards T, middle point, and then S, or R, STR means the same. Now, since we have to find out this angle RTS, what we will do, we will simply write it as RTS plus 62 plus 43 is equals to 180 degrees. How? Because we'll use angle sum property of triangle. Okay. So first we are going to add 62 with 43. We will get 105. Then we will subtract it from angle RTS. To find out RTS, and we will get 75 degrees. It means RTS is equals to 75 degrees. And even after finding this angle, we can easily find out the third angle on this straight line, which is angle RTQ. Now we can find this angle as well. Let us mark this angle. And if you come up with any type of question in your exams, now you can easily find this angle because this is a straight line. As you can see, it has been split into three different angles. This is angle 1, this is angle 2, this is angle 3. And we know that the 3 or 4 or any number of angles on a straight line always equals to 180 degrees. So if angle 1 is equals to 62, this angle is equals to 75, then this angle would be 62 plus 75 subtracted from 180, which is, if we add 62 with 75, we will get 137. And if we subtract 137 from 180, we will get 43. It means this would be 43 degrees. You see, even if we don't have to find this angle in the question, it's not required. But we know that if we need to find out the third angle also, we can now easily find it because we have already find angle PTS, ST, R, and now RTQ. You see? Next, we have question number 4, in which we are provided with two different rhombuses. We have to deal with these two parts in this question. So first of all, let us discuss some of the properties of rhombuses, that there are two pairs of parallel sides in a rhombus. What does it mean? It means the opposite sides are parallel to each other. As you can see, side AD is parallel to BC, and similarly, side AB is parallel to DC. Okay. Also, these opposite sides are equal to each other. Not just the opposite sides, all four sides in a rhombus are equal to each other, just like a square. But what is the difference between a rhombus and a square? That all four angles in a square are of 90 degrees, but in a rhombus, none of the angles are of 90 degrees. Okay, but we have to remember that opposite angles are equal to each other. It means angle DAB would be equal to angle DCB. Similarly, angle ADC would be equal to angle ABC. You have to keep this in mind, right? Okay, if we have to find out, acha, yes, one more thing, the diagonal lines from one point to the opposite point, from one vertex to the opposite vertex, bisect the two angles. What does it mean? It means if let's say I have a rhombus, okay, and I bisect it. Bisect means I draw a diagonal line in this rhombus. So the four angles formed would be equal to each other. All four angles would be equal to each other. For example, if one of the angle is, let's say, 44 degrees, this would be 44, this would be 44, and this would be 44. So as you can see, in the first rhombus, there is a diagonal line passing from point D to B. It means if any of the angles are given out of the four forming at the 2 points, all the three angles would be equal to that particular angle. Okay, and if we look closely, we can see that an arrow indicating this angle is given as 38 degrees. It means angle BDC would be 38. This angle would be 38. Similarly, these two angles would be 38 as well. One marked as P and the other as angle ABD. You see, all four angles would be 38 each. So first we are going to write this property that diagonals in a rhombus bisect the interior angles. Bisect means the interior angle that are formed are equal to each other, right? That it cuts the angle into equal lengths, equal measurements. So it would be 38, 38, 38, 38. All four angles would be 38 each, right? And after that, we can see that angle ADB is a triangle also. So if we have to find out the third angle, what we will do, we will add 38, 38 with each other. We will get 76, and then we will subtract it from 180. Using the angle sum property of triangles, we will find angle Q as 104 degrees, right? Now let's talk about the second rhombus. In the second rhombus, you can see that two diagonal lines are bisecting each other. Whenever there are two diagonal lines, in the first part we had only one diagonal line, but in the second part we have two diagonal lines in a rhombus. Whenever there are two diagonal lines, they will always bisect each other at right angles. That is, all four angles that will be formed in between would be of 90, 90, 90, 90 each. This would be 90, this would be 90, this would be 90, and this would be 90. You see, all four angles would be 90 degrees each in this. We can draw it over here. All four angles are of 90 degrees each. And we can see that by having two diagonal lines, the rhombus is cut into four equal triangles. The four triangles are equal to each other. So what do we have to find? We are provided with only one angle, which is angle EAB 42 degrees. And we know that if one of the angle at a diagonal is given, that is bisecting the angle, the four angles, that is these two angles would be 42, 42. And similarly, the opposite two angles would be 42, 42. It means angle R would be 42 as well, right? Now we have to talk about angle S. So if we look at angle S, it is forming in this triangle ADE. You see? A, D, E. The midpoint is E. And this is angle S. We already know this is angle 42. The mid angle, that is AED, is 90 degrees. So we can easily find angle S by adding 92 with 40 and subtracting it from 180 degrees. That's it. So how we will solve this angle? First, we are going to write diagonals bisect the interior angles. That is it. turns the interior angles into equal parts. So all four angles at point A and C would be equal to each other. If one of the angle is 42, angle EAD would be 42, angle DCE would be 42, ECB would be 42 each. Each of the angle would be 42, and we know that angle DCE is marked as angle R. So angle R would be 42 degrees. This is how we will find angle R. And then we have to go for angle S, which is a part of triangle ADE. As you can see, one of the angle is 90 degrees because we know the diagonals bisect each other at right angles. The four angles that are formed in the mid, in the center, are of right angle, are all right angles, right? So all four angles would be right angle. From here, we got to know one of the angle of the triangle ADE. At point E, it is 90 degrees. The other angle DAE is 42 degrees, which we have found using one of the properties of rhombuses. So we just have to find out angle S, which is the third angle, and we can easily find it out by using the angle sum property of triangles, which is S plus 42 plus 90 is equals to 180 degrees. And by using this equation, we can easily figure out that angle S is equals to 48 degrees. I hope, students, this question is now clear to you. Okay, now let's talk about question number 5. In this question, we are provided with a parallelogram. There is a slight difference between a rhombus and a parallelogram. The difference is the same as the difference between a square and a rectangle. The difference between a square and a rectangle is all four sides of a square are equal to each other, whereas in a rectangle, only opposite sides are equal to each other. Same with rhombus and parallelogram, all four sides in a rhombus are equal to each other, but not all four sides are equal to each other. In a parallelogram, only opposite sides are parallel and equal to each other. Yes, but the opposite angles are equal to each other in a parallelogram. Right, so we can say that there are two pairs of parallel lines in a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel to each other, and then the opposite sides are equal in length. So if we look at the parallelogram in part A, side AB would be parallel to DC. Also, side AB would be equal to DC. So we can write it as AB is equals to DC. Similarly, AB is also parallel to DC. Both are parallel and equal to each other. Similarly, if we talk about AD and BC, so AD is also equals to BC and AD is parallel to BC. Okay. Then what else? Opposite angles are also equal to each other. We know that the opposite angles are equal to each other. So it means angle DAB would be equal to, we can write it over here, angle DAB equal to ABC. And we can write it over here as, in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal to each other. Using this property, we can say that angle DAB is equals to angle ABC. If one of the angle is given, angle DAB is given as 106. So angle ABC, which is angle A, would be also 106. We can write it as angle A is equals to 106. You see, this is how we can easily find angle A. And then we have to find out angle B, which is 48 degrees. How? Remember, in a parallelogram, the opposite angles are equal to each other. If a diagonal cuts two opposite angles, they bisect each other. What does it mean? It means if there are two diagonal lines from both the sides, like if we had this diagonal line as well, so these two sides would be equal to each other. Similarly, these two sides would be equal to each other. But since we do not have another line over here, so what else we can do over here? Look. Students, in a parallelogram, what happens? Between the two parallel lines, the two adjacent angles are equal to 180 degrees. That is, the two adjacent angles are supplementary. What does it mean? It means the angle DCB and CBA. These two angles would be equal to each other. But we can see at point B, this angle has been splitted into two parts, 48 and angle AD. Let us mark at ABD. So we can say that angle ABD plus 48 plus A is equals to 180 degrees. Why? Because these are the two parallel lines, DC and AB, and in between these two lines, if there are two angles or three angles or four angles, all would be equal to 180 degrees. And we can see that there are three angles, angle A, 48 degrees, and angle ABD. Their sum would be 180 degrees. Remember this. We will use this property in trapeziums as well. Between the two parallel lines, any angles forming two angles, three angles, four angles, they would have a sum of 180 degrees, right? So we already know that angle A is equals to 106. We will substitute its value. It would be ABD plus 48 plus 106 is equals to 108. Now we will add 48 with 106. We will get 154. So what we will do, we will just subtract it in the next step from 180. And if we subtract 54, it's 154, sorry. If we subtract 154 from 180, we will get the answer as 26. It means angle ABD is equals to 26 degrees. You see? This is how we can easily find out this angle. Now, after finding this angle, we have to find angle B, and we can see that it's a triangle. You see? ABD. ABD is a triangle. It's like this. A, B, D. If we know two of the angles, we can find the third angle very easily using the angle sum property of triangles. We can say that angle B plus 106 plus 26 is equals to 180. So what we will do, we will add 106 and 26 and subtract it from 180. So we will get the answer as 44. Angle B is equals to 48 degrees. And I also told you that in a parallelogram, if there is a diagonal line between two opposites, so the alternate angles would be formed which are equal to each other. That is, the adjacent angle to 26 is 48. So angle B would also be 48. If you want to learn this property, it would help you out. Like if you have a parallelogram like this, and you draw a diagonal line like this, the two angles that are alternate to each other, one on the right hand side, one on the left hand side, would be equal to each other. Similarly, these two angles would be equal to each other. So if this is 48, this would be 48 as well, as we have proved, right? This was given, angle DBC was given as 48 degrees, and we have found angle B, which was ADB, alternate of 48 degrees, both are 48. And similarly, if this angle is 26, this would also be 26. This is one of the property that you can remember. It would help you out. Okay. And if you don't want to use this property, you can use other properties that we have already discussed. Now we are provided with another parallelogram. Do remember one of the property of quadrilaterals, that the sum of all four angles in a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. When we talk about a triangle, the sum of the three angles in a triangle equals to 180 degrees. But in a quadrilateral, the sum of the four angles is equal to 360 degrees. Also, opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal to each other. This we are talking about quadrilateral in general. But the second property, this is the first property, this is the second property. In these questions, you have to learn all the properties that we have discussed so far. All the properties, angle sum property of triangles, angle sum property of quadrilaterals, the properties of rectangles, squares, parallelograms, and rhombuses, kites. We will discuss the properties of kites in the next video, inshallah. The vertically opposite angle properties, then the properties of supplementary angles, the complementary angles that you have learned in grade 5 as well, in grade 6 as well. Then you have to work out for these questions. Also, opposite angles are equal to each other in a parallelogram. Using these two properties, we will solve this particular parallelogram. Okay? So from here, we can say that if the opposite angles are equal to each other, it means angle DAB is equals to angle BCD. Angle DAB is given as 4C and angle BCD is given as 2D. It means 4C is equals to 2D. And angle ADC is equals to ABC. ADC is 5C. So this would be also 5C since it's not given. Now, using the first property. First property that we wrote at first. That is the sum of all four angles in a quadrilateral is equals to 360 degrees. We can say that angle ADC plus DCB plus CBA plus BAC is equals to 360 degrees. You see? Now, ADC is 5C plus DCB is 2D plus CBA is also 5C because we know these two opposite angles are equal to each other. If this is 5C, this is also 5C. And remember, if this is 2D, this is also 2D. But what we will do, we will replace 2D by 4C. Why? Because if this angle is 4C, this would also be 4C. So we can say 4C and 2D are equal to each other. So in the second step, we will replace 2D by 4C. Okay. So 5C plus 4C is equals to 360. Also, 2D is equals to 4C. Hence, 5C plus 4C plus 5C plus 4C. 2 are 4Cs, 2 are 5Cs. Why are we doing this? To find out the value of an unknown, that is C, right? So since all four are like terms, we can add them very easily. It will give us a total of 18C is equals to 360. And now, since we are multiplying 18 with C, on the other hand, we will divide it by 18. 18 ones are 18, 18 twos are 36. The answer to C is 20. We have found the value of C is 20. And now we have to find out the value of D. Okay. Now we have to find out the value of 2D. And we know 4C is equals to 2D. Or we can say that 2D is equals to 4C. So what we will do, we will substitute the value of C here. That is, we will put the value of C because we know the value of C now. So it will be 2D is equals to 4 multiplied by 20. 4 20s are 80. This would be 2D is equals to 80. So what will we do next? We will simply divide the value of D by 2 to get the value of D, which would be 40. You see, this is how we have found the value of C as 20 and the value of D is 40. Now let's solve the given question once again. As you can see, in this question, we were provided with 5C. So 5C would be 5 multiplied by C is equals to 5 multiplied by 20, right? 5 20s are 100. It means this is 100. Okay? At this point, it is 100, so it should be also 100. Then 2D. 2D means 2 multiplied by 40. 2D means 2 multiplied by D is equals to 2 multiplied by 40, which is 80. So this is 80. And so this should be 80 as well. 4 multiplied by C. So 4 multiplied by 20. It is also 80. Hence prove that we have solved this question absolutely correct. The value of D is 40 and that of C is 20. And if we substitute the values in the given expressions, we can easily figure out that the values that we have found are absolutely correct. This is how we have to solve these type of questions. So for more questions, inshallah, we'll be solving the question in the next video. So watch the video. Sorry, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching the video till the end. Take care. Do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends as much as you can. Allah Hafiz.